loves numbers. A funny and weird way to start my talk, but it is true. I come from a family who are very passionate about mathematics. My father and grandfather, being chartered accountants, have always ensured whatever I do, I at least do well in maths. Well, unfortunately, I do not have a natural knack for maths. I shy away from numbers, and it was quite evident from the scores I got. I did decently well in other subjects, but I would always fall behind in maths. I remember in grade 4, I got around 50% in my maths assessment. And when I went home and shared my scores to everyone, I got an earful. I remember going to my room, crying my heart out and disappointing everyone. And that was the day I decided to make up my mind and work on this weakness of mine. Make my parents, teachers, and myself proud. So I began to work. I started tuitions from my teachers who helped me throughout my journey. My dad and my grandfather who were always there if I had any doubt. My uncle who would make me small test papers every week just for revision. And lastly, my mom who would keep me on track. And after all this hard work, I gave my exam and I got my result the next term. 75%. Yes, definitely a huge improvement from my previous paper, but still nowhere close to what I dreamed of. But this time, I did not get upset. I saw how my hard work made a change, and that made me feel motivated. So I worked even harder. The year later, I gave my maths exam again, and I got my result. 90%. Yes, I got 90% in the subject I had a fear of. And now, what is interesting is that if I look back, even at 50%, I had a complete support system. Then, what exactly changed? I like to think of it in that way, that it was the universe what put me in a situation where my parents were disappointed about my grades and I got the determination to undo the situation. I am Sakhee Taparia, and this is the topic of my talk today. Like it is rightly said, when you really want something, the entire universe conspires in helping you achieve it. Life is full of surprises. I strongly believe there's a spiritual element in the destiny, making you meet the right person, throwing you in the right situation, putting you at the right place to make it all happen for you. Provided you put your mind to it. A journey that starts with clarity of thought, dream, and energy towards the same is supported by the universe in all possible ways to make it happen. We know one of the most loved brands, Nike. It may look all glitter and glamorous, but there is endless amount of sheer discipline put in by Phil Knight, its owner, to make it happen. An unknown fact is that when he just started his company, he was going to close it halfway through because he had no money to pay the banks. He got cash flow issues. His initial batches of consignment were banned by customs. But the secret sauce was to just do it. Yes, you heard me right. He kept going, dealing with problems one at a time and clearing hurdles along the way. And I don't even need to look so bad as Phil Knight in the United States starting Nike. Even back home, when I take my grandfather's life an example, I can see that the thought still holds true. My grandfather came from humble beginnings. He funded a lot of his own early education on his own by distributing newspapers and doing so many other small part-time jobs. And even at that tender age, he had high ambitions. He wanted to get a professional degree and wanted to travel overseas. Despite having so many issues, he would find time late night to study. And like how the saying goes, fortune favors the brave. One night, a distinct relative of his from abroad was coming to visit his hometown for a wedding. To the same wedding, my grandfather was invited to. Though he had no keen on going to that wedding, he was compelled by his mother, aka my great-grandmother, to go. And of course he went. And they crossed paths over there, and after exchange of pleasantries, that gentleman asked my grandfather about his profession. And after my grandfather shared his ambitions, that gentleman got impressed. He made a call to his employer in Indonesia, and my grandfather immediately got a call. And it is so amazing how my grandfather always tells me that if he had not gone to that wedding, he would have probably not been in Indonesia, and I probably would have not been here speaking in front of all of you. So indeed, we owe a lot to this thought that the universe absolutely does conspire in making your dreams come true. Now, how many of you have ever experienced an unexplained happening to you? I am certain many of you have at some point. I took up taekwondo as an extra activity out of passion a couple of years ago. I would always fall behind in classes, but I enjoyed the sport and had the determination to be good at it. And I would practice constantly even after class hours. Then came the test day. I gave my exam and I did really good. And in fact, I got 2 belts within a year. And you know what is surprising? It was that I was at my best on that day. And that, I feel, is an unexplained happening in my life. So, in conclusion, this is my approach to life. To move forward, to chase dreams with hard work and passion, and faith that the universe is behind making my manifestations come true. And you should do it too. Thank you.